I wasn't on air because I was in Doha, Qatar, representing Nigeria Info at Wish 2022, the World Innovation Summit for Health. Here's today's big hard fact. The Wish Summit holds every 2 years. 2 years ago, it was it didn't happen 2 years ago because, COVID happened. But the last one happened at the Vatican City in Rome, and this one happened in Doha. It's one of the most prestigious health summits in the world. The Qatar Foundation brings together people all over the world working at cutting edge of health innovation. They come to share their breakthroughs, they come to share their learnings, and they share this with the rest of the world. And I didn't go to Doha alone. Nigeria Info sent two of us. Joining me to have this conversation will be Ufoma Igbamuno. As soon as I'm able to grab a hold of him, he just got back into Lagos, so he's in traffic at the moment. He may be able to join me over the phone. Fingers crossed. We'll see how that goes. But you see, the first thing I actually want to talk about is the city itself, Qatar. Not Qatar. Qatar is the country. Doha. The level of organization in Doha was quite impressive. It was one of the most organized cities I've ever seen, and I've traveled to a number of places. Immigration was very straightforward. When I was leaving, the brief I got was, "Oh, come with all your documents, and make sure you have several copies of these documents. See me at what's the word I'm looking for now? At a business center, printing different copies. So this one 7 copies, this one 7 copies, this, that." Almost as I reached airport for Doha, nobody even asked me for my documents. Like, they just took my passport from me, scanned it, because before you come, they send you a link that they expect you to fill, and you should fill that link with all your information. So your passport number, your COVID vaccination number, your COVID-19 test result, and any other information that they would require for your trip over there, your visa number, etc., etc. And so as soon as you get in, no one's wasting your time. They'll just take your passport, scan it with their scanner, take a picture of you, and you move along. Like, it was so straightforward, so organized. And I know that this week or last week, I told you how also very inclusive it all was. There was a lot of mobility for persons living with disability. I'd never seen so much effort, so much infrastructure be created to cater to people who are differently abled. So there were cars, there were wheelchairs, there were slopes, there were all kinds of things, for people who live with disabilities. And I've traveled quite a bit, and this was the first time I had seen a city consciously do its best to cater for members of the society who are differently abled from majority of the society. And I was blown away by that. I'm not even going to lie about that. We've got Ufoma Igbamuno on the phone. Ufoma, how are you? How come you're not in the studio with me? Where are you coming from?
Hello.
Where are you coming from, Ufoma? Why are you not in the studio with me?
I'm so sorry, Lagos and beyond. I'm stuck on traffic, very close to the office. Just coming back from Port Harcourt. It's been crazy. Lagos is on a lockdown because it rained. I'm so sorry.
Well, before I came to you, I was talking about how impressed I was by the organization of the city Doha itself. Not even Wish now, just the capital Doha. I was like really blown away by how very straightforward everything else was, how very uncomplicated it was. What was your first impression when you landed in Doha?
So visiting Qatar apparently was the very second time I was leaving the country. First time I left the country, that's Nigeria, was me going to cover the African Nations Championship in Rwanda.
Okay.
Rwanda was quite beautiful. That was about 6 years ago or thereabouts. Quite beautiful, small country, very organized, and it was no surprise. Let me just deviate a bit. It was no surprise that every time everything good was talked about Africa at the Wish 2022 conference, Rwanda was always mentioned. It just took me back to 6 years ago how organized it was. But coming back to your question, I'm still gushing 2 weeks after. I am still gushing, The very moment I stepped back, I'm so sorry, but the very moment, this is me not trying to demarket the country like some persons would think or some persons might want to say. But the very moment I stepped back into the country at the airport, and I saw that sign, "Welcome to Nigeria," I was like, oh my God, that's the feeling I had, because I just stayed 1 week in a very organized environment where people don't drive through traffic beat what's it called, the red light. Whatever you need to do, you would do it as it should be done,
and there was no police presence. Can we
Sandra,
talk about that a bit? Like, I did not see a single policeman in the city of Doha.
That's the thing. So you knew what you were supposed to do. You didn't need anybody to, order you around, or a militarized person to tell you, "Oh, this is what you need to do," because everything was orderly, from transportation, to street lights. So a few days after we returned, I had to go to Abuja for a training, and somehow the flights were delayed. So we got into Abuja late in the evening, after 6 or to 7 in the evening, and driving from the airport all the way down more than 30 minutes, Sandra, there were no street lights. Abuja can as well compete, in terms of architecture, in terms of planning with Doha. But unfortunately, because we don't do things we're supposed to do, how do you drive for 30 minutes? Imagine I was just coming into, I'm not Nigerian, I'm just coming into the country for the very first time,
right.
And I land in the federal capital, Abuja,
right.
and I land by 7 p.m. in the evening,
right.
and I drive 30 minutes from the airport, and all I'm seeing is darkness. It just beggars belief, Sandra.
It was, and we came in at night, and it was really beautiful. Like, we were seeing all the sights. We were like, oh, you know what? If we stay on that, because it's been 10 minutes, and we just, let's move on.
Yeah, apparently, let's just
let's move on. So during the opening ceremony panel, Qatar's public health minister said something that stood out for me. She said, as we saw during this pandemic, when health systems are overwhelmed, the whole society is disrupted. Therefore, investing in health systems and building their resilience is not a cost, but an insurance, and we need to collectively pay this insurance, end quote. And then the Tanzanian president, Samia Hassan, made the same point when she was giving her keynote speech. She said, quote, "The pandemic provided us with a worthy lesson that health will be to prioritize." While they were speaking, all I could think about was Nigeria. Year after year, we see federal and state budgets with very low spending on healthcare. We see medical professionals chapping, partly because work conditions are horrible. And I have to ask you, Ufoma, I have my own ideas, but I have to ask you, why do you think that year after year, governments get away with not investing enough in healthcare in Nigeria?
Sandra, the simple answer to that question is that health is not seen as a priority. Sadly, it isn't. So I did a story. So I was part of a panel, one of the panels at the Wish Qatar 2022. That was talking about how to invest in the emerging markets. Of course, Africa, one of them. And I did that story earlier this week, I think on Tuesday or thereabout. And in the research, in my research, while I was working on that story, I realized I saw a very damning stat, that I looked at it and I was like, wait, is this true? Now, what's the stat? Over the last 11 years, Nigeria has spent 72% of its health budget on running offices and paying salaries. Let me repeat myself. 72% of our health budget over the last 11 years Like, if we have 100 naira to spend on health over the last 11 years, we are spending 72 out of the 100 naira to run offices. That's to buy stamp, whatever needs to be bought in the office,
AC.
ink, biro, paper, and then paying salaries. We are spending 72 out of every 100 naira.
It beggars belief. It beggars belief.
And then we are just left with 28. Why would our leaders not run to the States or to the UK or to India, for medical checkups? That's the fallout of the misrepresentation or the inability to put things in order.
Prioritization.
So, exactly. It's not a priority. Sadly, also over the last 10 years, we've had to deal with security challenges. Right. So on one hand, I might not necessarily blame the government for spending, a chunk of our budget on security, because that's the reality we found ourselves, since the whole Boko Haram. But again, you would ask yourself, you look through the budget and you ask yourself, there's certain things on that budget that, why are you doing it? Every year in the health budget, you see, or rather in the budget, you see almost every year, priority is given to the State House Hospital. If my memory serves me right. There's money put out there for it, but sadly, every time our current president has had health challenges, he's not treated himself at that medical facility. He's had to go to the UK. Femi Adesina will tell you, he wants to go and see his family doctor before he became president. He's had this doctor, so he has to continue. Point I'm trying to make is, until the Nigerian government sees health as a priority, sadly, we'll be going through these circles. So one of the things I kept pointing out, to the guys at the panels that I attended was, here you guys are, trying to solve first world problems. When Africa, and precisely my own country, Nigeria, we're still dealing with third world problems.
And it really is a combination of factors. So like you mentioned, the government itself and budgeting. When it comes to government work, most people think only about construction, So for healthcare, they're thinking about building hospitals.
Exactly.
How many hospitals and health centers? How many beds, And then as a people, we set the bar too low for government. Even when we focus on construction, we're not asking, okay, is government building enough hospitals? Nigerians, I think, need to have metrics in mind. So, for example, we should know how many public hospitals does Lagos need. Then we should hold government, accountable for a plan to get to, okay, well, how many hospitals does Lagos need? How many hospitals can we build per year? When we start to think about things like this, you have thankfully, COVID did not affect Nigeria the way it affected the rest of the world.
Oh, we would have been dead, almost all of us.
Oh, thankfully. Samia Hassan also talked about how Wish is making healthcare more democratic, and I want to talk about that a bit more. She said that Wish was making healthcare more democratic by exposing all nations to the latest innovations and policies coming from the more advanced economies. And I wonder, Ufoma, what do you think policymakers in the Lagos State government and in the federal government can do to, take better advantage of the resources and learnings from a platform like Wish?
So the first thing would be, did they even attend?
No.
So that's what.
You had Gbemisola Saraki. Sorry, not Gbemisola.
Well, she attended because
as a private citizen.
As a private citizen, yes,
True.
she's a public health advocate. Gbemisola. Toyin Saraki,
not Gbemisola.
The wife of
Bukola Saraki,
the former Senate president. She is a public health advocate, and so she went there on her own as part of what she does for a living.
Yeah.
The question I kept asking the first 2 days were, where is the Nigerian Minister of Health? Where is the Nigerian Minister of State for Health? Where are the Nigerian health administrators? I didn't see anyone. I saw health ministers from at least three African countries.
Egypt, Rwanda, Tanzania.
Exactly. I interviewed the minister of public health, from Rwanda.
Right.
I think I spoke to another one again from Ethiopia. I can't really remember his name right now.
Right.
So the question first of all would be, did they avail themselves the opportunity to even attend these kinds of events?
Do they think it's important?
Exactly. I don't think they thought it was important.
Do you think it's important?
Definitely, Sandra. It was important. The 3 days from Tuesday till Thursday, that we had all of the sessions. Obviously, you can't attend all the sessions,
them, yeah.
But the ones I attended, my goodness, it was mind blowing. For the innovators there. Thank goodness I was able to, at least there was one Nigerian innovator right there. Hopefully we should have that video up on our YouTube page pretty soon. He actually he's been able to solve at least a little bit of a problem in the Nigerian health sector. How? Well, because not a lot of persons have monies, he developed, an app such that you can actually pay for your health insurance with trash.
Yeah.
Sandra,
That's
trash.
right. Yeah.
So you pick all your bottles of drinks and all your toilet papers that you probably use, all your trash, bring them to him.
Yeah.
That will substitute for your health insurance.
Yeah.
And of course, there are 1,001 Nigerians, who can
benefit from that.
You said?
Who can
benefit
from
that?
Yeah.
From that, So for me, that was quite eye-opening. And it would be great if some government, the Nigerian government or the Lagos state government, if let's speak particularly now because we are right here in Lagos, can look at such an innovation. Okay, yes, that's the name. Look at such an innovation and see how they can infuse it to the health.
Invest in it, maybe partner with it, maybe
possibly. There are 1,001 people in Lagos that can as well benefit from that. People you could argue in Ikorodu, in Ajegule, or in Okokomaiko, all of these areas where you probably have lots and lots of trash. They can actually use that. So for me, hopefully we're going to have another one in 2 years' time. I would think that
hopefully we have Nigeria represented.
Exactly. I would think that if the health officials of Lagos State they should be listening because they do listen to Nigeria Info. They should be thinking about
how do we
attending the next one. I saw an innovator who, guess what, the problem he's trying to solve.
What?
Create a mattress that will help babies sleep.
Yeah, that was quite impressive. It was.
So for me, while that is great, I know that there are quite a lot of Nigerians who can afford it.
It's also really expensive for the average Nigerian. But,
for the average Nigerian, it's expensive because he said, it will go up for, say, about $1,000, which is give or take over 700,000 naira.
Right,
but there's still a lot of Nigerians that can afford it. If that will help your baby not cry at night, because trust me, I'm sure there are lots of mothers listening to the show now who would love some form of sleep. If the mattress is going to help the baby
sleep better. For me, I would love to see participation from say a Lagos state government or federal government at events like this, because there were lots of investors at the summit. So, for example, you had the Qatar Development Bank, you had Global Fund. By the way, we have an interview with Global Fund up on our website and Instagram. You can check it out. These institutions know what African governments need. They know that African governments are broke. So maybe they don't know what we need, but they know that we are broke. And they want to invest. They want to lend. They want to donate. They just want to see that there are interesting projects that are actually solving real problems. Like this trash collection one.
Exactly. You did mention the Global Fund. Part of, in fact, almost more than half of their money is actually going to Africa. That's what the Global Fund
was set up for.
VP board, Rosalind Morata. That's what she told me. In that interview that we have on our website, 72% of the funds they generate comes to Africa. So it would be great to have Lagos State government, for example, or the Nigerian government, collaborate with these international organizations.
But
Because
they can
firstly,
only do that if they start thinking about new ways to solve our healthcare problems and start
well,
telling their stories better. Because it's one thing to say, "Oh yes, let's collect your money," but these people also want to see that you're solving real problems.
no, you can't just collect money for collecting sake.
Yeah.
Obviously, you would have to show working, like we say in local parlance here. You have to show that whatever monies you've collected, has been put into great use. But then, for you to be able to even get those monies, you need to be at the forefront of it. You need to be at events such as the Wish
This one, the Wish Summit.
Summit, exactly.
I'm also thinking about partnerships. They are another big thing. Later on, we'll talk about how BioNTech is coming to 3 African countries and Nigeria is not one of them. I think a conference like Wish is a good way for, I don't know, our government to find out, okay, well, what partnerships are out there? What groundwork do we need to do to key in? It's not just for people like Ufoma that like to speak big English. Lagos, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. On today's Big Hard Fact, we're asking, well, what can Nigeria learn from the World Innovation Summit for Health? Ufoma and I represented Nigeria Info FM, and a lot of the learnings there we are currently sharing with you here on 99.3 Nigeria Info. We've got about 3 minutes before we have to take a long break. But before that happens, I've got information that I need to share with you. I absolutely have to share with you. Yes?
Yes, so it's still the cocktail week, my dears. So I'm here to always remind you that please call on your squad. Call all of them. Yinka, Tunji, Ibukun, call all of them. Tell them that drinks are on you this weekend because courtesy of MasterCard, they want to make you feel good. And they want to spoil you so you can also spoil your friends, okay? Now, what are you going to get? You're going to get time to create more priceless moments with Mixology at its finest signature cocktails, specially curated for you at the best bars and restaurant in Lagos. I have to catch my breath because I'm so excited to share this news with you. Now, visit www.lagoscocktailweek.com to get details on participating restaurants and bars. And when next you're out, make sure you're asking questions like, please, do you have the MasterCard menu, please? Something like that. Make sure you also pay with your MasterCard, okay? And trust me, you experience something very priceless.
Okay, well, we have so much more to talk about. There was so much that happened in Doha, and would love to share as much of that information with you as possible. So, for instance, when we talk about democratizing healthcare, we talk a lot about vaccine production in Africa. The founders of BioNTech, their husband and wife, by the way, told Stephen Sakua that they've developed a new technology called biotainers, which lets you transfer vaccine manufacturing tech from one place to another. So when we come back from this break, we'll talk about that. We'll also talk about something called healthy cities. It ties in with the concept of what's his name now? There was a concept that the chairman of Qatar Foundation mentioned, Lord Darzi. He mentioned that the WHO had declared every single city in Qatar an official healthy city. What are those? Could we become one of those? We'll tell you when we come back from this break. And of course, we'll come back to solving Nigeria's healthcare problems because we also met the founder of Moderna, Dr. Nuba Afey, and he spoke and he had a few insightful things to share. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Don't go away.
For the weekend, storm that party in grand style. Rent choice vehicles on the Urban Fleet app. Get the app on your app store and on www.urbanfleet.biz.
ShopRite Circle Mall finally reopens tomorrow. A brand new store with some fantastic opening deals. Don't miss the opening, October 21st, 9 a.m. prompt.
Whatever you want to.
Oh yes! People have been winning, and you too can be a millionaire in the Dangote Bag of Goodies Season 3 promo.
Spell Dangote.
Yes! Spell Dangote and become a multi-millionaire. Category 1, instant win. Buy bags of Dangote cement. Pick up the scratch card and win an instant prize. Category 2, for the star prize, pick up the scratch card inside the bags to spell DANGOTE to win 1 million naira cash instantly. Category 3, the mega star prize. Pick out the scratch card inside the bags and spell DANGOTE and win 5 million naira instantly. When you pick an alphabet with an eagle, look out for letter O that has the Dangote Eagle logo for you to win the mega star prize. Promo runs till 31st October 2022. Terms and conditions apply.
This is football's biggest season. Welcome to the ultimate game on the planet. World Cup 2022 is here for every fan and every home from 20 November.
This is absolutely wonderful.
It's Mbappe! Oh my word!
Ronaldo with a shot. Oh, it's gone in. Messi. Oh my God. Sadio Mane.
Enjoy all 64 matches of the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 on DSTV Compact, live and in high definition on SuperSport. Here for every home in Nigeria.
Listen to this to understand the amazing power of 5G. Oops, sorry, I played that at 5G speed. Now, here it is at a speed you're used to.
With hyperfast internet speed, low to zero lag and buffering, multiple connections, and quality data sharing, 5G will give us amazing things like remote surgeries, self-driving vehicles, instant file downloads, smart homes.
Get ready to experience the incredible. And remember, no be juju, now MTN 5G.
Mommy.
What is it?
I made it. I had 260 in my job.
Wow.
Here is a lifetime opportunity. The proprietor of Dominican University, Ibadan, offers scholarship to incoming 100 level students to mark 10th anniversary of late Reverend Father Professor Joseph Kenny, OP. Offer opens from September 1st to October 28th, 2022. Enroll today. For inquiry, please call 0703-805-0100 or 0703-958-7413. Visit Dominican University Ibadan website www.dui.edu.ng. Dominican University. The future is here.
Do you buy diesel in large quantity? As a wise businessman, I'm always open to solutions or services that save time and money. With Galuli Advanced Solutions, I'm able to increase efficiency and reduce operational cost in my line of business. At the click of a button via my laptop or mobile devices, I can monitor the amount of diesel in my tanks, regardless of the number of locations. I also get real-time alerts via emails, SMSs, and scheduled reports on diesel supply, consumption, and drops in my tank, which helps to aid informed decisions on amount to be paid for what was supplied or stolen when on or off my locations. Isn't that great? I'm getting real value for my money. For further inquiries, call 0907 000 3023 or 0907 000 3026 and 0907 000 3015. You can also visit our website at www.galuli.com.
My buddy, how you doing? You don't hear of Lucky Bet and all the bunge offers when you don't carry tanda gidibam. Oh, but you never hear it, Then go give you 600% welcome bonus plus 500% accumulator bonus when you sign up on top the website. It never finish, then get the highest odd. Come get fast payout join. Listen, if one game cut your ticket, then go still pay you. If two games can't cut your ticket, then go give you bracket bonus. Not a dollar. Follow who know Rodo. Sign up on top www.luckybet.ng. Lucky Bet. Get lucky. Get rich.
Opportunity for quality and affordable degrees at Wellspring University, Benin City. Wellspring University announces 2022-2023 admissions to BSc, MSc, MBA, PhD, and DBA degree programs. Courses offered in Wellspring University include nursing, medical laboratory science, cybersecurity, software engineering, information technology, computer science, business administration, mass communication, international relations, economics, accounting, and many more. Admission is ongoing. Apply now. Visit our website at wellspringuniversity.edu.ng or call 0704 255 0535 or 0907 333 0526.
Lagos, are you ready? If you're in Lagos, then join Liberty Church London for the Global Breakthrough Night for a time of spirit-filled worship, prayer, prophetic declarations, and breakthrough into answered prayers with anointed worship ministers Judy Kay and Eno Michael. And your host, Pastor Shola Fola Alade. Theme, The God That Answers. Date, Friday, 21st of October, 2022. Venue, Civic Center, Zumbambadiwe Road, Etiosa, Victoria Island, Lagos. To register and secure your seats now, search for The Liberty Church London on eventbrite.com. Come ready to have an encounter with God.
ShopRite Circle Mall finally reopens tomorrow. A brand new store with some fantastic opening deals. Don't miss the opening, October 21st, 9 a.m. prompt.
Oh, lunch. Guys, I'm going for lunch. Please, put more stew. Nice meal. My chest.
Suffering from heartburn and indigestion? Try Just Eat. My recommendation for the past 26 years. Just Eat is a brand of aluminium and magnesium hydroxide and simethicone. Just Eat is available in suspension and tablets. Remedy for heartburn, indigestion, flatulence, and acidity.
Jested, now available in new packs. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please see your doctor. Read leaflet inside.
Ignition check.
Is your business stuck on the launch pad due to slow and unreliable internet?
Engine on. Check.
It's time to look to the skies.
We have liftoff.
Connect Fixed Satellite Internet is here. With fast, reliable speed up to 100 megabits per second and unlimited usages. Loads of data. It's ideal for schools, merchants, clinics, mines, farms, and all types of businesses from anywhere in Nigeria. It's time to take your home or business beyond the stars with high-speed satellite internet. Visit connect.com. Connect with a K in partnership with Cool Link.
Introducing the new Madish 2-in-1 tomato and beef flavor seasoning. Madish 2-in-1 tomato and beef flavor seasoning is a blend of rich tomato, beef flavor, and other ingredients that gives your jollof rice and stew that rich, strong tomato red color and beef flavor. Twice the taste, twice the aroma.
Also available in Madish 2-in-1 curry and chicken flavor seasoning. Madish, twice the taste, twice the aroma.
Austin, my God.
My brother.
See as customers full your shop with me. No be the same time me and you open shop. Oh boy, I beg. Cut soap for me now.
Cut soap, ke? My soap na Grobies, oh.
Grobies? Na name of soap be that?
Grobies na package from Keystone Bank, where they support small businesses them to grow.
How now?
Grobies go summer you with better business and financial advice. Business loan, we get low interest rate them. Plus, you go get free pass to their free SME Academy. Zero maintenance fee and boku like that.
Na better soap be this Grobies, oh.
Where they rush go?
I dey go get my own Grobies account from Keystone Bank to make my own business begin grow.
Visit the nearest Keystone Bank to get started. Keystone Bank, we grow together.
Hey! People still they win, no. I mean, you know what? Follow cash out for this Dangote bag of goodies season 3 and woof. Yes, so just spell Dangote and you fit become multi-millionaire. Inside part 1, for one-time winning, buy bags of Dangote cement, carry the scratch card and win sharp prize. Inside part 2, to get star prize, carry the scratch card inside the bag, come spell DANGOTE. This one go confirm you to win 1 million naira cash, chakam. And for part 3 will be the mega star prize. Carry the scratch card inside the bag, spell DANGOTE. Here, you
fit win 5 million naira cash conquem if you pick letter where Dangote Eagle day on top. Make sure say you find letter O where carry Dangote Eagle logo. This awoof go end for October 31, 2022. Terms and condition day show.
You summon the oracle now. Greetings, my king. How can the oracle serve you?
You will tell me the secret to your power. How did that keke move without a driver?
My secret is the power of 5G.
Tell me more about the power of 5G.
With hyper-fast internet speeds, low to zero lag and buffering, multiple connections and quality data sharing, 5G will give you amazing things like remote surgeries, self-driving vehicles, instant file downloads, smart homes. 5G's amazing technology will change the way we experience life and the internet. Get ready to encounter the incredible. And remember, no be juju, now MTN 5G.
ShopRite Circle Mall finally reopens tomorrow. A brand new store with some fantastic opening deals. Don't miss the opening, October 21st, 9 a.m. prompt.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. A few weeks ago, Ufome Bamono and I represented Nigeria Info FM in Doha for the World Innovation Summit for Health. And while we were there, we saw so much. We picked up so much that we think our policy makers, policy leaders could learn from, could implement going forward as far as healthcare in Nigeria is concerned. We've talked about our first impressions of the city, Doha. We've talked about, some of the conversations that happened on some of the panels. We've talked about democratization of healthcare. I did mention that after the break, we're going to touch a bit on biotech in Africa. Ufoma, when we talk about democratizing healthcare in Nigeria these days, just democratizing healthcare, period, we talk a lot about bringing vaccine production to Africa. And like I mentioned before the break, the founders of BioNTech, did you like that they were husband and wife, by the way?
Yep.
Did you know before that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I'd seen a couple of years.
Transfer vaccine manufacturing tech from one place to another. So they are bringing vaccine manufacturing to Rwanda next year, your favorite city. Then to South Africa.
No. Who's favorite city?
Sorry. Rwanda.
I haven't
next
been
year.
to my favorite city, Cape Town.
Okay, all right. Well, they're going to South Africa next, so maybe you will go there and cover the story. And then they're also going to Senegal after that, hopefully. Ufoma, the fact that Nigeria isn't on that list as even a third choice is a sign that we're not doing well, like Mr. Macaroni will say. We're not doing the groundwork to attract that sort of investment, that sort of partnership. And when I say groundwork, I mean everything from having constant power and water to fast internet to proper manufacturing and lab tech standards to even trained personnel, because after all the trained personnel, the Jabba Abi. I wonder how we can correct these things. Do you think we can correct these things?
Yes, we can, but it's not going to happen overnight.
Of course.
It'll take a mindset change.
Right. What do you mean when you say mindset change?
We would need to have leaders who understand that health is a priority. By the way, I'm no longer on the phone. I'm right here in the studio.
Yes,
I finally beat traffic.
I beat it through jazz.
So we need to have leaders, that will have a change of mindset. Presently, there's a lot of jackpying. Not like it started today. Growing up, Andrew, no checkouts. It used to be a thing.
But it always happens when the economy goes really bad.
Exactly.
Governance is really bad. People vote with their legs.
Exactly. That's what happened. In that 80s. Guess who was head of state at the time?
Let's
move on. This
is not a political show.
So we need to have that mindset change. So yesterday there was this conference in Abuja. I was following it up online, and the representative of the Minister of Health, talked about the fact that it's a bit of a worry that our health professionals are leaving the country in droves.
Numbers,
that as part of the solutions to tackle that, he is looking at taxing these countries that our health professionals go to. And I'm asking myself, for the love of God, if you do things right in the country, people will not leave. Even if they want to leave, it won't be in the number. But instead of looking at practical solutions to solve that, the only thing in your head is how to make more money, how to tax the countries. By the way, I don't even see how feasible that is, but let's even forget that conversation. So which is why I said we need to have a mindset change. We need to believe that education, health, these things are priorities. As much as security is a priority, yes, but there are other things too that are priorities. Not spending hundreds of millions.
And security and health can actually be priority side by side.
Exactly.
Because if a bomb goes off and people are hurt,
they have to go to the hospitals. Exactly.
The hospitals have to exist. The equipment for saving their lives have to exist. Paramedics have to exist. Ambulance and emergency services have to exist.
So you did mention, at the start of the show that most of our politicians and leaders are more concerned with building hospitals. They're more concerned with physical structures. Let it be on the record that this is my achievement. Right. I did this, or name it after themselves. Right. Without really looking at policies, or structures that would last way beyond them. And then again, there's no continuity. So one, let me use River State for example. So the former governor Rotimi Amechi, hate him or love him, if there's one thing he actually did very well, it was to invest in health and education. Well, I'm sorry, the present governor, with all the monies kudos to him. There's been a lot of infrastructural development, especially in Port Harcourt. Kudos to him. But I'm not seeing a continuation of that investment in health and education as the former governor. So whatever gains that must have
been made under Amechi
would have gone to the drain. So that's part of the problem where Rwanda and Senegal and South Africa will come first before a Nigeria, yet we claim to be the giant.
I don't think we make that claim anymore. And more and more we're seeing countries use the hub model. So, for example, in Doha, where we were doing the conference, it was in the education city, right? They also have the media city, they have the health city. These cities are built from ground up to handle a particular sector, a particular industry. So even if you cannot build all the right infrastructure across the country, you can maybe concentrate some infrastructure in an area.
True.
Use that to attract investors. Use that to attract partners. The Chinese did that, by the way, in Guangdong for tech manufacturers, I believe. That's why that they were able to attract Apple and Microsoft and Intel and Motorola, all these big OEMs from the West. Maybe we can do the same thing here.
I think we should actually be looking at that. Kudos also maybe to the Lagos state government that they are also trying to make those kinds of attract those kind of investments, especially when it comes to tech. They're trying to make Lagos like the tech hub of Nigeria. If we can't build these health infrastructure across the country, it might not be possible. We don't even have the monies. Let's also be honest with ourselves.
That's why you need to attract investment.
Exactly, and look at. Put these policies and look at these hubs like you mentioned. In fact, let me even shock you. You're talking about education, city, and health. One of the panels I attended was building smart cities for people with disability.
Yes.
I oh goodness me. I went to that panel, sat there for 45 minutes. And literally was just shaking my head.
Like,
I was forced to ask a question to the UN rep, who was actually there. And it felt like I was using the same line almost everywhere. You are solving first world problems.
Because they're first world nations.
We still have power generation as a problem in Nigeria. Guess what? Is part of the things that were supposed to have been unbundled with the new with the constitutional amendment. 25 of the state assemblies have said no. They are not voting. They're not passing those bills until the National Assembly includes state policing, and I think 4 bills. Now, what that means is all those hallelujah we were shouting just a few months ago it looks like it's not going to happen. So the point I'm trying to make is I'm tired.
Because it just seems like something that could be straightforward to do. You know, you choose maybe one of our richer states like Lagos, like you've mentioned, what they're trying to do with the tech organizations. You can carve out an area specifically for biotech, you know, choose maybe Unilag as your focal point.
Exactly.
You know, put serious money into improving its biomedical sciences departments, you know, getting to an independent power agreement of sorts like the estates that are plenty in Lagos are doing, get the telcos to roll out 5G, optical fiber, start giving foreign biotechs some incentives to come in.
They need those incentives. If you don't give them those incentives, it will be a problem. Just was it this morning I was working on the Nigeria Info headlines, you know, or was it yesterday night? I can't remember when I saw that story. The federal government, you know, giving that unilateral order to the telcos to reverse their, yes, for the average Nigerian who's spending more money, that's great news. Oh, telcos had increased. People didn't even know that they had increased their
money for data.
monies. I know because I have a friend, you know, who works for one of them, and he told me about a month ago. You know, but that's a problem for me because these are supposed to be companies. They're supposed to be profit making. We're supposed to be in a capitalist economy, so to speak, where you know they make these decisions. But the federal government can just wake up one day and say, "No way, you're not doing this." What incentive will a Moderna or a what's the other ones? You know,
BioNTech.
What incentives, you know, would you give to them to say, "Oh, come to Nigeria," when they know that with one statement a minister can as well change a policy that may have taken 10 years to work on? Yesterday we were all celebrating the president signing the startup bill. Great, you know, absolutely amazing for those in the tech world.
Wait
now.
They don't want it.
One day somebody will wake up one day and tell you
it's very limiting for them.
We are banning Twitter because Nigeria is a sovereign country. Meanwhile, there's supposedly a bill that has been signed. Is this policy flip-flops, you know, from our government that's a bit of a challenge that will make companies not even think about Nigeria in the first place.
Okay, cool. You know, this is not somewhere we can go. But, you know, this ties in with the concept of healthy cities, which was talked about. I don't know if you were paying attention to when the executive chair for World Innovation Summit for Health, Professor Lord Darzi, was speaking. And he said that the World Health Organization recognized all cities in Qatar as healthy cities. You know, and what that basically means is that the city has been designed in a way that makes a healthy lifestyle easy to obtain and has great access to health cities. I mean, there were places for people to run, places for people to walk. Of course, you can't run in Doha because you probably melt from the sun. But also the architecture was built in a way that to trap the sun sort of and keep you in shades all the time. Everywhere was green. There were trees everywhere. This was a desert. This is someone that used to be a desert.
Just 16 years ago,
it was
Sandra,
a desert. You know? And there's like green trees everywhere.
And you ask yourself, how come? Same crude oil. Remember that was a conversation we were both having all through our stay in Doha. I'm on the same crude oil. Not the same crude oil.
Waiting they occur. But let's bring it home to Nigeria. Let's bring it to Lagos in particular. When we talk about public health, we're often talking about, like I said at the beginning, building hospitals, giving early vaccines to babies. What were some of the things that made you think about that we should be doing differently?
The fact that we should plan properly for things. It's not been one of our strongest points. We never plan, or we plan for just the next 1 month. People plan 5 years ahead. People plan 10 years ahead.
Well, we do. We have Vision 2020.
Please give me a break. Just give me a break. Let's not even get there.
Sorry.
I once said I was going to be president in 2020.
You You said
year
you were-
2000.
You said you were going to be president.
Yeah, I was as a child. I said I was going to be president in the year 2000. Well, it's 22 years after.
Look at you.
I'm still doing he said, she said.
I've got information to share with you very quickly before I let you former Egbamuno go.
All right, this is coming from Metaforce, and they're saying that if you want to make more money and you want to create wealth, they're here for you. All you have to do is make yourself available for Friday, the 22nd, 21st of October 2022. Friday, 21st October 2022. Time is 10 a.m. Venue is Block A, Suite 55, Premier Tech Plaza, Egbeda Idimo by Mokola Bus Stop. Come and be part of this life-changing experience. For more details on this, call 0803 537 8115. 0803 537 8115. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I wish we had more time to stay on this because there's so much more that I want to talk about. But hopefully, in the next 2 years, we'll be back at Wish.
Hopefully.
And hopefully, we'll see a lot more Nigerian representation as far as policy and governance is concerned.
In fact, Sandra, I think we would. Tony Saraki did, mention to me when we spoke that we need to continue that conversation away from Doha. We need to continue the conversation right here in Nigeria, and it would be great to. Put more pressure on policymakers. I will
to
be
make
sad.
It happen. Okay, thank you very much for me. I have a break. If I leave it for one, keep me here. I have a break coming up. After the break, I have an interview with Apex eMart. They'll tell us what they have in store for you after the news at 6. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. This is Hard Facts.
There's a new way to move around Lagos. From Lekki to Oshodi. From anywhere to